Hello, my lovely accidental art makers. How are you all doing on this, at least where I am at, a beautiful Friday night? I hope you're all doing really well. My name is Sharon. I'm the accidental art maker. I'm working on a side table. You can kind of get a little bit of a clue of what's going on down in that little corner or that corner. I can never keep up with these things. Really happy you're here. I've been upcycling furniture the last 10 years and loved it so much that I thought I would save money by opening my own Orchid Designs store online. It turns out I end up spending more money. But I'm doing what I love, which is upcycling furniture and taking ugly things and making them beautiful. And if that is something that you are interested in, hit the subscribe button because you will see a lot of that here. So like I said, my name is Sharon, and looks like we got Miss Marla here. Hello, Miss Marla. Nice to see you. BAFTA wants to say hello to Marla. Say hello. Say hi, Marla. Yeah, Marla, look at my shirt. Anyways, my son is graduating from high school a week from today. I'm a proud parent of a 2024 senior. It's bittersweet. Lots of stuff going on, and art is going to help me get through it all. One can hope, right? Anyways, let's get into it, right? It's supposed to be 10 minutes a day. I'm going to do something for at least 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. And I want to share it with you guys. Art therapy. There's all different reasons why nice to see you too, Marla. There's all kinds of reasons too. You can hear me, right, Marla? I think Marla would tell me if she couldn't hear me. I am really proud. I'm a little bit sad. It's a lot. It's like, one door closing and a window, another door opening. It's just, it's a lot to figure out as a parent. I'm very proud of him at the end of the day. So anyways, let's talk art. Let's talk painting. Okay. So I've been working on this cute little side table for quite a while now. If you've been following me, you probably have got an idea of the whole 360. This black part down here is the base of it. And it's the base, and it doesn't really fit in now because I painted it that dark color like in the very beginning. And now that I've evolved the piece, now the black just totally doesn't fit anymore. So what I'm going to do is paint it with old 57. Let's see here if I can find it on the camera. Yeah, I'm going to paint it with this right here so that it matches the blue that you see here already. So I'm doing that tonight. My plan is to do that. Do this, what you see here in the sides tonight, because the sides of the table are also that blue color. And I'm going to you see the transfer there. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be painting on. I'm going to be taking, it's supposed to be a baby wipe, but it went dry at some point. And I'm going to be wiping the paint off of the transfer so that the leaf pops through. And we're going to see how that black plays through. It could be like a really cool shadow effect. It could give it a little bit more dimension, or it could just look like mold. So we're going to figure that out together and go from there. Diane really liked my work. Thank you. We need to get Diane on YouTube so she can join in the conversation, Marla, from her phone. Okay. Diane is Marla's sister. And I'll send Diane a wraparound video after I do this and it dries. Or I can wait till I'm completely done, which, could be a couple of weeks. All right, let's get going. All right, so I've got my little handy dandy thing of paint right here. I've got some rags. I'm gonna be very careful and try not to splatter paint. I've got my paintbrush in a jar of water. I really like having my paintbrush in most circumstances wet and dipping it in water in between brush strokes, especially with DIY paint. It helps to the paint is very thick. So when you've got your brush dipped in water and you put it in here, it helps to even it out a little bit more. All right, so let's get this puppy going and see what happens. All right, we're gonna start in a small section first. I'm gonna start right down here. And I'm just painting over. Don't be shocked and horrified, because what we do next is we come in with a rag. And this is how we experiment. So we're going to see, like, how hard is it to get the paint off the transfer? Can we just get it off the transfer? Do I need a smaller brush, right? This is all about experimentation. So can I get it off the brush? I mean, off the transfer. And so that looks okay, but I'm not completely happy with it. So what I'm going to do is I got a thing of water here. Got a Mr. bottle from J Goods a while ago. It's still working fantastically. And I wish this was a active baby wipe, but it's not. So I'm just re-engaging with the baby wipe with water. I'm going to come in here and look at that. Do you see how it's just taking the paint right off the transfer? Yeah, so that looks great. That's pretty much the look that I was going for. I really don't want any blue paint on my transfer, but at this point, it's kind of hard to avoid doing this any other way that I can think of, since I got kind of committed with the black paint at one point. Okay, so how does that look? Yeah, you can see that. Okay, let's keep going. Where's my paintbrush? Here it is. Let's paint here. Marla, have you done this technique before, painting over a transfer and then wiping back? Okay. Now, I can always come back in here with a small brush and, which I probably will do. I'll come back in here with a small brush and do a second coat and be a little bit more detailed specific. Now you can imagine this technique on with a larger transfer on a larger piece of, whatever it is your medium is, if it's a piece of furniture or whatever. But I think that looks kind of cool. I'm like looking how the black looks right there. Okay, Marla says no, but I forget what question I asked. Oh, she hasn't done this before. That's what she's saying. Okay, let's keep going. So the black is black paint from DIY. The transfer here is from Collage de Fleur, which is an IOD transfer. I'm going to get a little bit more water here. And if you've watched, you can like look on, if you're watching me on YouTube or on Facebook, you can go a couple of videos back and see kind of the evolution of this piece right here. It has been in the making for the last couple of months. I started out just thinking, I'm going to do whatever the heck I want to a piece of furniture. And so when you're a stockist, or, you kind of have a business where you're selling the art supplies that you when you're selling art supplies, it's kind of like you might strategize your projects that you share online, right? So it might be like you are using only the products that you have, trying to push something, like a drug dealer, right? First one's free. But I really wanted just to make something from my heart and not not come out like with a strategy or something. Like, I just wanted to really be purely creative. And I had explained this to Marla a little while ago, where it's just like, it's like my brain throwing up all the creative. I just wanted to go nuts on a piece of furniture. I didn't want to make something pretty or something that I could sell or something that would sell products. I just wanted to like do something crazy. And this piece represents that. And it's been stressful and it's been fun and it's been a learning experience for sure. So I'm doing this in segments because DIY paint dries pretty fast. And I need, because I'm sitting here talking to you, I need a little bit of breathing space to make sure I don't paint if I paint the whole thing and start wiping things off, then it's going to dry before I finish because I talk too much. All right, let's see what we got here. No thing there. Okay. And then we're kind of almost out of your line of vision. Let me just fix the camera a little bit so you can see the tail end here. Give me 1 second. Oh, you know what I can do? Nope, wrong way. Okay. Now you can see more of it. All right, so I got to finish the ends here. I got to finish the ends, and then I got to flip it, at least on one side. Okay, let's see here. Marla needs my advice on decoupage. Ask away. Let me see what I can do for you. Okay, I'm going to put this back into my water because the paint's getting really thick and harder to wipe off the transfers. There's lots of different reasons why you might want to use this technique when you're working with transfers. I mean, if I've really evolved this whole piece. If I hadn't, I might be exploring this black shadow a little bit more, but nothing else on here has a black shadow. So I'm going to be definitely going back in with a smaller brush and filling in where the black shadow is. We got little vines going here. In fact, we got a vine going throughout this whole thing. I might just come in with a small brush while I have you guys here so you can watch me do it. Okay. Look, I missed that. Okay. Yeah, so I've been having fun with this piece. I brought together two very different art pieces here. I have like this watercolorish decoupage paper, and I have this very illustrative IOD transfer, and brought them together, and they're doing great together because I married them with a couple of different art techniques. All right, so let's keep going here. We're gonna paint this down here. There's a little bit of a Moroccan inlay down here on the end, and there's Moroccan inlay through different parts of this art project. Throughout this side table, you can see a little bit of the Moroccan inlay right there. Down here along the way. I need to get this wet. Here we go. Okay. I've been getting back into doing art my 10 minutes a day, and I'm loving it. I can totally feel a huge sense of welcoming to doing that again. And it totally brings down my stress levels. All right. We got this end done. This paint right here is on a little bit thick, and I'm going to use my finger. Now that's a pretty interesting effect too. all this experimenting and the different things that you do to when you're working on a piece, it all adds up, and that over time, it's kind of like the interest rate, like when you have something in your savings account over a long period of time, and the interest rate adds up over time. It's like the same with your art. Like think about creating art, and you're putting, I don't know how to put it into words, like, but you're like putting money into the bank and you're getting a great interest rate over the time. It's the same with art. Like you kind of put the time in to creating, and over time, the interest rate just really adds up. All right, Marla's question. That is Marla's opinion, which I appreciate. All right, let's see her question. I have had a hell of a trip lately with Made by Marley paper. So many wrinkles that don't come out, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so are you, Marla? What with the Made by Marley paper? When you put your top, when this is the way I do Made by Marley, and my wrinkles leave every single time. And wrinkles are natural in decoupage. So what I do is I use the DIY liquid patina, but you can also use Mod Podge. I've used that. I mean, there's any kind of medium that says, "Hey, use us for decoupage." You put your you put that down first. You let it dry. Let me think about this. You have your dry coat of paint or whatever surface you're putting it on, and then what I will do is I've done it two different ways. I'll go in and I will have a section. I'll have sections kind of planned out for the paper, because often with Made by Marley, it's big pieces of paper. And I will, um, with the first, I'll put down a coat first of the decoupage medium, and I'll put the Made by Marley paper on top of that, kind of holding it up, and then I'll not paint, I'll put down a little bit more of the decoupage medium, I'll put a little bit more down. I kind of do it in sections until I'm done. And then I smooth it out with my hands. I've used a brayer, and then I let it dry. And there's always wrinkles in it. And then what I do is when I'm ready, after it's dried, I go back in with the same decoupage medium and I put it on top and I let it dry. Now, 8 times out of 10, it'll dry up and all the wrinkles are gone. That's what happened with this piece right here. But I've also gone back in and I've used after I put the medium on and it's dry, on top of the decoupage and there's still wrinkles, I'll go in with my hot gun, my air gun, and I'll blow it dry, and it just shrinks all up and it's tight as a drum. Yeah, so Mod Podge should do the same thing. So I use Mod Podge and Made by Marley paper on a pleather chair. I don't know if you remember, if you were following me back then, Marla. And there were so many wrinkles on it because I was going over these different shapes and I hadn't cut the paper out to accommodate the shape. I had just slapped it down. Um, and uh, and so most of the wrinkles came out where the surface was most flat. Where the surface had sharp curves, there were still wrinkles, and that the paper had dried in wrinkles on that spot. And I went in with an X-Acto blade and I carved out the decoupage paper, put another coat of paint down, and it just blended right on in. If you're working with a flat surface and your wrinkles aren't going away after you use your decoupage medium, you lay your paper down and you put decoupage medium on top and you use the air gun, then what I would recommend, Marla, is using a brayer to make sure when you're laying it down that first time that it is super flat. And also that you're using enough decoupage medium. Like, don't be stingy with it. I hope that helps. I mean, everything you showed me so far, Marla, has been beautiful, and I haven't noticed any wrinkles. Okay, so I'm going back in and wiping down my transfers here. And by the way, kind of going back and talking about how I started this piece, which is just doing something because I wanted to bring different mediums together, different color palettes, different artistic styles, like watercolor versus very illustrative. I'm still doing that now. Like, that's been a learning lesson for me, which is like, on this piece, I am still just doing whatever the heck I want to see what happens when I do it. Okay, let's grab a smaller brush. Okay, so we got a pretty small area in there. So I'm going to want a pretty... Okay, so this brush looks not too damaged. I mean that as in, like, I haven't like left the bristles to dry on something where they get scattered out. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just be using the top of the paint lid right here. And I'm going to just be kind of coming in close to the sides here. Doesn't need to be 100% without black. I just need to kind of come in here, and I want to make sure my brush strokes blend into the paint that's already there, like that. So I got these big areas of black right here. My main goal is I want the... Okay, there's like a really vulgar expression. I want the curtains to match the carpet or something like that, but I want the blue down here to match the blue that I've got going on up in here. Now I've got some black in here, and I can kind of come in here and just get rid of some of the black and make it more of make it a smaller percentage of what's going on instead of like something that's drawing the eye. All right. Do you guys have any questions? Marla had a great question about the decoupage. I used to get wrinkles a lot, but when I started using my hot air gun, like that, for sure got rid of them all. So I'm curious to know. Let's see. Marla says, I've messed up on the project on blending that I was teaching on her live video. I'm assuming you're talking about Lael from Made by Marley. It's dried with wrinkles and crooked on your canvas. Okay, so did you lay it down crooked, or did it dry and is it just a little bit crooked, and perhaps your, art mind is saying it's crooked, but maybe it's just a little bit off? Marla, let me know. Okay. No answer yet. All right. If you're joining us on the replay or just recently, pop on into the comments and say hi and let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to join the conversation. Don't be shy. We are not shy around here. We're quite the opposite. We're loud and sometimes obnoxious and typically very opinionated. Okay. I am very opinionated when it comes to my mission, which is helping women over, midlife and older. Midlife hits us at different ages, but my mission is to help women midlife and older rediscover themselves using art as a way to do that. And art can be what I'm doing right here. It can be knitting. It can be playing piano. I'm here to help you guys find some inspiration to figure out what that is. Okay. See, I said this would take less than 10 minutes, and here we are. We're probably like 30 minutes in. Are we 30 minutes in? Oh, close. Close enough. 25 minutes in. I started menopausing probably about 4 years ago, but I would say like the last year and a half has been significant in that area, and I'm on hormone replacement therapy. I'm trying so hard to I was trying hard for a while, but lately I've just been like, okay, I'll take the hormone replacement therapy, but I'm not getting up and exercising for 5 hours in the morning. I'm sleeping in and enjoying my coffee in bed. And I definitely have discovered that as dedicated to art and creating as I am, it's not easy to do it all the time. And tonight, I'll tell you what, I really wanted to hang out on my porch and have some sweet iced tea and a glass of wine and pet my dog and listen to the birds. But I was like, nope, I committed to doing 10 minutes a day, and I can come up here and do 10 minutes a day. All right, with a smaller brush here, I'm getting like more. The big brush gave me like a pretty smooth brush stroke free appearance. But with this small paintbrush, I'm getting more of a painterly look. So it's two pieces that are meant to meet in the middle. Okay, so like you can definitely see like they're off. The image is off, and which really highlights that there's wrinkles and that there's and that it's like I hear what you're saying. Oh gosh, that sounds like if I went in with a hot gun, like a boat, like a like a hot air gun, and tried to dry it, and that did not smooth out the wrinkles, that would be my first step to try and smooth out the wrinkles, and then and that should work. Like I get so many wrinkles in my work. I don't know if you've seen like the Una and the Lion table or my chair, but like on this piece right here, I had major wrinkles, but putting a coat on top and then after it dried, hitting it with the hot air gun, and they just zap away. It's like magic. And that's worked for me. There's like no secret thing that I've done. Okay. The other thing too, when you're like doing something like this looks more dimensional and cohesive. When it was just the vine on the black, it looked pretty flat, and that totally did not match the rest of what I've got going on here. Everything else I've got going on here, it's like very lots of different colors, lots of different layers, lots of different mediums. But I think bringing in this little paintbrush here kicks it up a notch with this color on top. Okay, where are we? We're getting close to being at a good stopping point. Can you re-wet the paper? I would not do that, Marla. But gosh, I think the best thing to do is we should hit up Blail and ask her, because she might have like something. She probably does have something beyond what I have mentioned, but I think rewetting the paper is not a good idea. Like that to me sounds like more trouble than a solution. So I will hit up Marla on Facebook and ask her. In fact, I'll tag her on the show so maybe she can watch the show and see where this is coming from. But I mean, I will tell you that if you've been watching me, you know I'm not a perfectionist, and I get wrinkles all the time, but they typically tend to take care of themselves. And I was stressing about it too, but like, yeah, I'm not really sure. I would not. So with Mod Podge, you could try that. But have you used a hot air gun yet? Let me know that, because if you haven't tried that, I think you need to try that. Because when I do that, it's like this hot air miracle. Like all the wrinkles just get dried up. I don't know what the artistic or material explanation is. I just know that hot air on it just sucks up the wrinkles. Okay. Yeah. So try that. Try that first and see what happens. And then we'll circle back to Lael and ask her. But I have not met a wrinkle yet that has stuck around except on the chair where I had curves that I was dealing with, and the paper didn't really know where to go. And even then, I got rid of the wrinkles by cutting them out, and it looked really cool. Okay, what do you guys think? Marla's gonna try it. Okay, let me zoom in here so you guys can see what it looks like up close. Now, with this paint that I'm using, I can come back in with a real baby wipe, and until I put a top coat on, I can come on in here, and anywhere that there's a transfer, I can wipe off the paint, and I can wipe it off with a baby wipe, and it's going to come on off. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this. I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to figure out how much black do I want showing through. Do I want it to be a shadow? Do I want it to be a layer? Is there anything else I need to do with the base to tie it in to the top? But already I feel like it's much more cohesive with the rest of the piece than it was when it was just plain black on the bottom. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get you guys in a little bit closer. I'm going to move my camera. Get you in a little bit closer. Okay, that's as close as it will get. But yeah, I think that's pretty. I kind of like the black. And then where you're seeing like these heavy outlines right here, I can come back in with my brush. In fact, I'll do it right now. So here, like I put my brush in my water, and so now it's pretty watered down. And let's see what happens here. So I want to work on, see that right there? So now I can come here and I can do a little bit of blending. I can get rid of that like really solid mark right there and break it up a little bit. And then I can come back in with a little bit more paint. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, there's still a little bit of a line. Like right there. I'm going to just work this for a minute. And I'm going to be putting paint over the transfer. And I'm going to go in with my little wipe and wiping it back. How does that look? I think it looks better. All right. Okay. All right. 35 minutes into 10 minutes a day. What has happened? I'll tell you what has happened. In fact, I have quotes I can share with you. Let me come over here to my captions. Okay. So people think that when you're going to do art, you need to wait to be inspired. When you get inspired, you get motivated, and then you do something. So you're just sitting around on the sofa waiting to be inspired. But actually, what happens in your brain is this instead. You just need to do something. You need to effing do something. And then that inspires you. And then that motivates you. And that is what you have seen here tonight with me. I did not want to come up here on Friday night at 7 o'clock and paint this baseboard. I almost said bastard. And paint this baseboard. I just really wanted to chill because it's Friday and I've had a long freaking week, right? But I made a promise earlier in the week that I was going to be doing 10 minutes a day and I was going to be sharing it with you guys. And that's what got me up here tonight. And guess what? I went from 10 minutes to almost 40 minutes now. And all I've been doing is working on this one pretty small area of a side table. So just remember that, like when you're just feeling like you don't want to do anything, just do something to say, I'm just going to do something for just 10 minutes. And believe me, I've been there the last 2 months where I come home and there is nothing left inside of me except to get into bed. I get it. We have times like that. I wish I had somebody urging me to just freaking go into your studio and pick up the paintbrush and just paint something for 10 minutes. It can be your little 4x4s. It can be the wall. It can be the floor. Like just pick something up and do something, put color on something for 10 minutes. Does not need to have an end game. But I did not have that. And my inner voice was gone. So if you're ever feeling like you don't have it in you to create for even 10 minutes, come onto my channel, pick out a 10 minutes a day and just watch me while you start your own painting. And maybe that will help to inspire you just for 10 minutes. Okay. All right. Marla's laughing again. What am I going to do with you, Marla? I don't know. We'll figure it out, Marla. We'll figure out the decoupage and wrinkles and stuff like that. But yeah, if the hot air gun doesn't work after you hit it with it, we'll ask Leo, because honestly, my experience has been pretty, and I am not a fortunate person when it comes to art and creating. If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. But and decoupage totally intimidated me too because of that. I was thinking of all the things that could go wrong, but we'll figure it out. We'll get there. All right. If you're watching on the replay and you enjoyed excuse me, and you enjoy this, hit subscribe, leave me a comment, tell me where you're watching from. Let's get to know each other a little bit better, like Marla and I have. Marla's a kick in the pants, that's for sure. So anyways, have a wonderful rest of whatever you're doing the rest of today, wherever you are. And you'll be seeing more 10 minutes a day scheduled coming up very soon.